Some knockouts make you jump out of your seat. And then there are the ones that make you question if the guy is even alive. Today we're counting down the top 10 most brutal knockouts in UFC history, the ones that sent fighters straight into the shadow realm. And trust me, number 1 is straight up horrifying. Before we start, comment below, what's the most devastating KO you've ever seen? Let's see if it made the list. 10. Edson Barboza's spinning wheel kick KO versus Terry Etim. At number 10 we have a KO that looks straight out of a martial arts movie.
Maybe the most spectacular knockout in UFC history.
Edson Barboza versus Terry Etim. Leading up to the KO, the fight was a striking battle, with both fighters landing good shots. But Barboza had been setting up his kicks all night, slowly breaking Etim's rhythm. And then boom! Out of nowhere, Barboza unleashes a spinning wheel kick from hell, and Terry Etim stiffens up before he even hits the ground. This was the first ever wheel kick KO in UFC history, and to this day, it's one of the scariest. Anytime someone's body goes stiff, it is hard to watch. Number 9, Jorge Masvidal's 5-second flying knee versus Ben Askren. Next up, we have the fastest knockout in UFC history.
And it'll be interesting when you talk to Masvidal in terms of how much they talked about opening that way. Just like that, Masvidal takes Ben Askren's own.
Jorge Masvidal versus Ben Askren. Leading up to the KO, this fight had major trash talk. Askren, an undefeated wrestler, mocked Masvidal for weeks, saying he'd take him down and ragdoll him. Masvidal, he had different plans. Masvidal ran full speed, launched a flying knee, and Askren went to sleep before he even hit the canvas. And just to add salt to the wound, Masvidal hit him with the super necessary follow-ups and a post-fight taunt. Pure disrespect. I would like to say, don't be fooled by that undefeated record of Askren. He sucks. The fact UFC wanted him over Mighty Mouse is actually insane. If you want to hear more about Mighty Mouse, check out my video, How Good Was Demetrius Johnson? 8. Francis Ngannou's uppercut from hell versus Alistair Overeem.
He hit him with a left hook and picked him off his feet.
Now this one, man, this one was terrifying. Francis Ngannou versus Alistair Overeem. Although UFC tries to erase Francis from its history, here on this channel we appreciate him. We really appreciate him specifically for this brutal knockout. Overeem was a decorated kickboxer and former UFC title challenger, but Ngannou, he was an unstoppable wrecking machine on a 6-fight KO streak. Overeem made the mistake of rushing in, and he paid for it. Francis threw an uppercut so violent that Overeem's head nearly left his shoulders. His body went limp before he even hit the mat. This wasn't just a KO, this was a soul-snatching. 7. Anderson Silva's front kick to Vitor Belfort. At number 7, we've got one of the most iconic knockouts ever. Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort. This was a highly anticipated fight between two Brazilian legends. Belfort was an explosive puncher, but Silva was playing mind games, barely engaging for the first few minutes. And then, boom! Silva lands a perfectly placed front kick to the chin, and Belfort drops like a sack of potatoes. This KO was so clean, so effortless. It looked like something out of a kung fu movie. 6. Dan Henderson's H-bomb versus Michael Bisping. This one wasn't just brutal, it was personal. Dan Henderson versus Michael Bisping. Bisping spent months trash-talking Henderson, calling him old and washed up. Henderson, a man of few words, saved his response for the octagon. Boom! Hendo lands the H-bomb and Bisping is out. But Henderson wasn't done. He followed up with a flying forearm smash while Bisping was already unconscious. Absolutely ruthless. Number 5. Gabriel Gonzaga's head kick KO versus Mirko Cro Cop. You know you've been knocked out bad when your leg folds the wrong way, and that's exactly what happened here. Mirko Cro Cop was known for his devastating head kicks, but Gonzaga, he decided to beat Cro Cop at his own game. Dude, Cro Cop's leg bent in ways that shouldn't even be possible. This was pure poetic justice. Number 4. Rampage Jackson's powerbomb KO versus Ricardo Arona. Most KOs come from punches or kicks, but this one was a straight-up WWE slam. Arona had Rampage in a tight triangle choke, thinking he had the fight won, but Rampage had other plans. Rampage powerbombed Arona into another dimension. The impact alone knocked him out cold. Insane. Number 3, Yair Rodriguez's no-look elbow versus Korean Zombie, the craziest buzzer-beater KO in UFC history. Zombie was winning the fight, seconds away from a decision victory, but instead of playing it safe, he rushed in and Yair pulled off the most ridiculous elbow ever. Dude threw a no-look, upwards elbow and shut the lights off in the final second. Unreal. Number 2, Sean O'Malley's walk-off KO versus Eddie Wineland. When you knock someone out so clean that you just walk away, you know it's bad.
In and out, he does a fence.
O'Malley had been timing Wineland's movements perfectly. The second he saw an opening, boom! One shot, no follow-ups, pure sniper precision. Number 1, Kevin Lee's head kick KO versus Gregor Gillespie. We've got a career-altering head kick KO. Gillespie was undefeated and known for his wrestling. Unfortunately for him, this was not a wrestling match. In the UFC, nearly any strike is legal, and Lee timed the perfect counter kick to send him straight to sleep. Gillespie went down like a statue tipping over. This wasn't just a knockout, this was an instant shutdown. Brutal. Did I miss any you felt should have made the list? Tell me your favourite knockout in the comments and click one of these videos on the screen to continue watching.